I'm just thinking about love. Love, the sweetest thing. I'm probably thinking about it because I'm down by the Trent Mersey Canal because I'm still up here in Cheshire. And about 3 years ago, I think, I was walking on this spot and the same thoughts were going through my head to do with love and the images that I'm going to be talking about in a second. It's funny the way that places do that. I don't know if it does it to anybody else, but sometimes, you know, when I'm in the same place, the same thoughts come back, you know, like I'm kind of walking through a memory palace. It's not, for God's sake, dog coming. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. Come on, peeps. Come here. Come here. Come on, babe. Good girl. Let's just watch this for posterity. Hi there. Good girl.
Come on, Tick. Ready? You go.
Good. That was a bit alarming. She's really good now, but in confined spaces like this, I'm never quite sure whether she's going to get into a love thing or something very different. Anyway, yes, I'm walking through this memory palace here, reminded of being here 2 or 3 years ago, thinking about the same thing. So, and it's to do with love, really. And I think I mean platonic love rather than romantic love, although I guess it overlaps. And when I say platonic love, I mean that almost literally, or at least Neoplatonic love, which I'll try and describe in a minute. And really how some of the words that we use around it, and words like the word love itself, because I think I'm right in saying that the word love is a corruption from the French word l'œuf, which means the egg. L'œuf. The egg. And love also features, of course, in tennis scoring, doesn't it? If you get 0 points, they say love. I think I'm right in saying, isn't it? They say love because the 0, which goes on the scoreboard, looks like an egg. So there's some connection there to me, it seems, between love, the kind of strange fertile space that eggs represent, to do with boundedness, you know, particularly the kind of boundedness that you get in circles. Oh God, another one. Come on, Phoebe. Good girl. Yeah. Go on, Phoebe, off you go. Go on. Well, show you this love action going on here. Go on, Phoebe. Go on. Good girl. He's persistent. He certainly is persistent. Doesn't like no crap, does he, Phoebe? Go on. Well, it's going to be a long video of that keeps happening. Anyway, so, okay, sorry, back to love. Yes, love. Something to do with 0 emptiness, but also the kind of pregnant emptiness that is inside the 0 of a tennis score, because it's also an egg, it's l'œuf, and eggs aren't empty, you know. Something to do with that, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly. But I guess I mentioned Plato and Neoplatonism, so I listened to a radio show about Neoplatonism recently. And it is interesting stuff if you're interested in the kind of background of that kind of philosophy, and particularly people like Plotinus, who was a Neoplatonist philosopher, something like 3rd century AD, and he's borrowing from Plato, and it's kind of being repurposed in the light of kind of Christianity and other kind of things that are around at the time. But the idea of love was quite important to that, love and the good, because in Plato, I think I'm right in saying, you know, there is a certain sense in which everything, all this stuff that we see, are all kind of lesser emanations from the one, from the good. You know, so it all emanates down, and so you get these kind of shadows of shadows of shadows. So you get to us, and we're kind of the fallen versions of those, or the lesser versions of the real world, and the real world is unified in the one, and that's certainly how Plotinus kind of repurposes it, that there is this sense of a unified one out of which all things emanate. But the one is kind of also the 0, because the one in Plotinus, which is a kind of visualized as a circle with everything in it, a unity, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. It's a unity which contains 0 divisions, so it's one which has no division in it. It's that kind of a unity. And it's only when once you get one division in the one, then you get two, and once you get two divisions in the one, you get three, and so on. So the number of divisions within the one corresponds to the number of the number of numbers. I know it sounds nuts, but it's an interesting idea. So what am I talking about now? Oh yeah, but I guess one of the reasons why I think it coincides with this idea of love and eggs is not love eggs, they're completely different. Is this, because, you know, being in love, and again I mean in the platonic sense but also in the romantic sense, is a little bit like that. It's a little bit like feeling the division dissolve. You know, it's kind of like returning to that oneness, isn't it? That's almost exactly how it's described in Plotinus. You know, that the ambition of all entities is to kind of return to the oneness that was existing before we were born and before all these kind of emanations came into being. And romantic, small-scale love, the love that you and I have for one another, a love that I have for my dog, possibly. Although, no, that doesn't really work. But is that, I don't know, that quest to be inside the egg, to kind of reverse that process of whatever it's called, mitosis, whatever those processes that take place, and return to that kind of prelapsarian state of oneness before there became the first division in that oneness, at the point when there was zero division. Something like that. I mean, of course, the odd thing about it is that when we do feel it, you know, those of us who know what love, we all know what love is, don't we? Is that it's such a desirable state that the desire to merge with the other in those things and to become one kind of means you have to literally leave critical thought behind, literally leave sense of otherness behind, literally merge your, I'm using literally really sloppily here, but you know, kind of merge your cells, really, stop being different. And that's problematic, and sometimes good sometimes, but it can also be problematic. And of course, you know, as soon as you do that, unless you truly are merging with everything in a great Plotinus, Neoplatonic sense, then you're always excluding, aren't you? This is what Zizek talks about, Slavoj Zizek, that love is always picking something out. You pick out the loved one, merge with that, to the exclusion of everything else. You form the shell around yourselves. You and your loved one dissolve together into the amniotic origins of the inside of the egg, and the rest of the world can piss off. There's something about that, you know what I mean? Anyway, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm trying to think through into this idea of what eggs are and what love is and what oneness and zero are. It was almost exactly a year I talked about it. I'll see if I can find that video. I probably said it better. I'm going stupider and stupider the older I get. Some of the video I made first about this topic was probably better. I'll see if I can find it and put a link.